Good morning, students. So in this video you are going to learn about preparation of haloalkanes. You can prepare the haloalkanes by three important methods. That is, the first method how you can prepare the haloalkanes is by using the alcohols. The second one is by halide exchange method. The third one is from hydrocarbons. Okay, from alcohols, that is the first reactant that you are going to use is here alcohols, that is ROH. It is represented by this. By using alcohols, how you can prepare is by halogen acids. The first reactant alcohol is fixed for these three methods of preparation. You can use HX or you can use phosphorus halides, which is represented by the symbol PX3. That is, it may be PCl3, it may be PBr3, it may be PI3. The third one is by using thionyl chloride. Thionyl chloride, the molecular formula is SOCl2. This reaction is called as Darzon's reactions. Okay, this is from alcohols. For all these three reactions, the first alcohol, that is ROH, is common. So by using HX, by using PX3 and by using thionyl chloride, you can prepare the haloalkenes. The second method of preparation of this haloalkenes is by halide exchange reaction. So here two very important named reactions are there. So first one is Finkelstein reaction, the second one is Schwarz reaction. Okay, so these two halide exchange reaction methods can be used to prepare the haloalkenes. The last and the third method of preparation of this haloalkenes is from hydrocarbons. Here mainly what we are using is, first one is alkenes, the second one from alkenes. Okay, all these preparation methods are very important. Usually in the examination they are going to ask for 2 marks. They may ask you explain Finkelstein reaction or explain Schwarz reaction with the suitable examples. So let's see how we can prepare these haloalkanes by using all these three methods. The first method how you can prepare is from alcohols. So how you can prepare the haloalkanes by using alcohols is, so whenever alcohol, when it is reacting with the halogen acid which is represented by the form that is HX, in presence of zinc chloride, you are going to get a haloalkane. OH of this alcohol is replaced with the X, that is, this OH and H will combine and there is a removal of water molecule. This R and X will combine to form RX. R is nothing but alkyl group. If I consider the alkyl group, that is methyl alcohol, when it is reacting with HCl in presence of anhydrous zinc chloride, you are going to get CH3Cl plus H2. Okay, so methanol is converted into methyl chloride. The IUPAC name of this will be chloromethane. Or you can also take the example as ethanol, when it is reacting with HBr in presence of anhydrous zinc chloride, you are going to get ethyl bromide plus what? Okay, you can prepare the any haloalkane by using different alkyl groups here, CH3, C2H5. Okay, next thing what you have to remember in this is, I have used here HCl HBr. Okay, you can also use HI here. So what is a reactivity order if I use a different halogen acid will be, HI is more reactive than HBr than HCl. Okay, so HF is not considered because of the more electronegativity character of this fluoride. Okay, there will not be the dissociation of this H and F separately. That is why only these three is considered. Also the fluoride size is very small. That is also one reason that's why we are not considering it. Okay, why HI is more reactive than HBr than HCl is, the simplest way how you can remember this is, you can see when you see HCl, then HBr and then HI, the down the group, you know that the size of the elements will be increasing. So when you see the HCl length and HBr length and HI, the bond length of this HI is more than HBr than HCl. First thing. The second thing that you can also consider here is when we compare the electronegativity of Cl, Br and I, the electronegativity of the Cl is more than Br and Br is more than compared to the I. So what happens is, here you can see the reaction here. You are breaking this ROH bond into R plus and OH minus, and here you are breaking this HX bond H plus and X minus. Then you are combining these two and then these two. Okay, so in order to combine these two molecules, you have to dissociate H plus and X minus separately. That is why how fast or how easily these HX bond will be broken, that much faster the reaction will be taking place. Okay, so here why this Cl bond is difficult to break is the electronegativity of the Cl is more. As a result, what happens? It tries to withdraw the electron towards itself. So the bond strength of this HCl, the bond between this H and Cl will be greater. As a result, it becomes little difficult to break this H and the Cl bond. Whereas here, the electronegativity of this is little less compared to the Cl. So that is why you can break it. I, which is having a lesser electronegativity compared to ClBr, there is no much force of attraction between this H and I. The effect of this electronegativity character towards this H is little less. As the result, you can break this. Okay, that is why HI is more reactive than HBr and then HCl. One more thing how you can remember here is the bond dissociation enthalpy. What is bond dissociation enthalpy? Is the amount of energy that is required to break this bond. The one which requires lesser energy, that will break into faster. Okay, here HI, the bond dissociation enthalpy for this HI is very less compared to Br and then compared to HCl. That is why HI reacts faster. Okay, this is about when you take the different kinds of hydrogen acids. So bond dissociation enthalpy order also you can remember. HI is less, then comes HBr and then comes the HCl. You can remember this order. Okay, the next thing that you are going to remember here is I can use different kinds of alcohols as well. I can use a primary alcohol, I can use secondary alcohol, I can also use the tertiary alcohol. So what is the reactivity order for these three different types of alcohol is tertiary is more reactive than secondary and then primary. Okay, so what is the reason why tertiary is more reactive than secondary and tertiary is we will write the molecules first. Okay, primary alcohol is that alcohol which is attached to one another carbon here. Okay, so this one. Secondary alcohol is that which is attached to two other carbon atoms. Tertiary is that which is attached to three other carbon atoms. Okay, so in order to form the reaction, you are replacing this OH, means you are removing the OH from this. When you remove the OH, so there will be a positive charge on this. Okay, you have got a carbocation here. So this is primary in nature, so this will be primary carbocation. This is secondary, the degree of this carbon, so this is secondary carbocation. This is tertiary carbocation. You have learnt that between these three types of cations, tertiary carbocation is more stable than secondary carbocation and then primary carbocation. So what is the reason is, in case of tertiary carbocation, there are three CH3 groups. So these CH3 groups, they are acting as a electron donating groups. Okay, so these electron donating groups will stabilize this carbocation. That is why what happens is the cation will be more stabilized, so the reaction takes place faster. Here secondary carbocation, no doubt it is also having two CH3 group, that will be stabilized, but less compared to tertiary. Here only one CH3 group is there, so stabilization will be little less. So that is why you have to remember this order. So two important thing is the reactivity order for the halogen acid and then the reactivity order for the alcohol. These two things you have to remember. And then I'm using alcohol, I'm using halogen acid. What is the role of this? Why we are using anhydrous zinc chloride is, first thing is it is a catalyst. The role of a catalyst is it increases the rate of a reaction. As a result, the product formation will be faster. First thing. And then why we are using the anhydrous condition itself is, see here, zinc chloride, what it does is it is deliquescent in nature. That means it absorbs the water. As a result, what happens? Here we are removing the OH and the H. Okay, nothing but the water. So this OH and H will combine to form water, means this zinc chloride helps to remove the water molecule from the reaction. Okay, if I use the hydrous condition, what happens is, hydrous means here again H plus and OH minus will be formed. The moment this R plus is formed, it will combine with this OH and again it will be formed alcohol itself. In order to avoid the formation of alcohol again, we are using this anhydrous zinc chloride. This is how we are going to prepare the haloalkanes by using this HX. Okay. The next thing that you are going to study is by using phosphorus halides. The same alcohol you can use, that when it reacts with the phosphorus halides, which are represented by the form PX3 or PX5. Let us see this one. So I have written here alcohol, that is, it is propanol. Whenever propanol is reacting with the phosphorus trichloride, the X that I am taking here is chloride. When it is heated, it is simple. You are going to replace the OH with the halogen atom that is present here is Cl. You are going to get a chloropropane. Okay, along with the formation of H3PO3. This H3PO3 is nothing but it is phosphorus acid. Okay, here you can see 3 Cl are there, so I'll make it as 3 alkyl group, so this will be 3. So whenever PCl3 is used, you are going to get a product. Along with the haloalkane, you are going to get a phosphorus acid. Similarly, if I use a PCl5, I have used here the alcohol, that is 2-propanol. So when 2-propanol is reacting with the PCl5, so in order to make it easy, I have just split it. PCl5, I have written it in this format, PCl3 and Cl and Cl. Okay, so what you are going to get here is, you are going to replace this OH with the Cl. Okay, out of this 5 Cl, 1 Cl you have written here. Okay, and one of this H and Cl will combine to form HCl. Okay, and this O and phosphorus and these remaining Cl will combine to form POCl3. This is called as phosphorus oxychloride. Okay, this is called as phosphorus oxychloride. So what you have to remember here is, when you are using PCl3, you are going to get H3PO3, that is phosphorus acid. When you are using PCl3, you are going to get phosphorus oxychloride along with the formation of HCl. Okay, this is by using the phosphorus trichloride and phosphorus pentachloride. The same alcohols, that is propanol, when I am using with, that is tribromo phosphorus or PBr3. So what happens in this reaction is, when we see this PCl3 and PCl5, they are relatively stable. Okay, whereas the bromide and the iodide compounds, no, they are little unstable. So we are going to prepare them and then we are going to react that with alcohol. Directly we are adding the reagent. So PBr3, whatever I have written here, no, how it will be formed is, the red phosphorus will combine with the Br2. Okay, when these two are combined, there is a formation of phosphorus tribromide. Okay, so phosphorus tribromide reacts with alcohol. Same thing, OH is replaced with this Br and you are using PbR3 here. So H3PO3 is a common product. The same alcohol, that is propanol, when you are reacting with the triiodophosphorus or phosphorus triiodide, red phosphorus plus I2 will combine and OH is replaced with H3PO3. Usually PbR5 and Pi5, no, they are little unstable. Okay, no doubt you can write the products, but relatively the compounds are unstable. That is why we are just taking only PbR3 and Pi3. Okay, so just what you have to remember is you have to just replace the OH and then substitute in place of OH the given halogen atom. It may be Cl, Br or the. Okay, I hope this is clear. The next method of preparation of haloalkanes is by using thionyl chloride. So what is the reaction is, whenever alcohols, when you are reacting with the thionyl chloride, there is a formation of haloalkane, and along with this formation of haloalkane, HCl and SO2 will be formed. Okay, so how you can remember the reaction here is, so one H and this Cl, the same thionyl chloride, I have split it and I have written in this form SOCl. So H and Cl will combine to form HCl. SO and this oxygen will combine to form SO2. Still one Cl is remaining. This R and this Cl will combine to form RCl. Okay. So out of all the methods of preparation, this one is considered as the best method of preparation. The reason for this here is, here the whatever the side products that they are formed, HCl and SO2, these two are escapable gases. Okay, they can be removed by the distillation. As a result, we will be left out only with this main product. That is why this method is preferred. So the example that I can give you here is, whenever methanol, when it is reacting with thionyl chloride, so CH3Cl plus SO2 plus HCl is formed. Okay, you can take the example as even ethanol. So when this is reacting with thionyl chloride, there is a formation of ethyl chloride plus SO2 plus HCl. This reaction was given by a scientist, Darzens. So this reaction is called as Darzens reaction. Okay, important for 2 marks. They may ask you, explain how do you prepare haloalkanes by using thionyl chloride, or they may ask you to explain Darzens reaction with a suitable example. If they ask you explain with a general reaction, then you have to take a general form here. If they ask you to explain with a suitable example, then you have to take the example. This method of preparation is only specific for chlorides. Okay, as here thionyl chloride, it gives the chloride. So this reaction is meant only to prepare the alkyl chlorides. The next method of preparation of haloalkanes is by halide exchange reactions. Here, as I have told you, you are going to learn 2 important reactions. One is Finkelstein reaction, the other one is Schwarz reaction. First we will see Finkelstein reaction. So whenever alkyl halides, when they are reacting with the sodium iodide and they are heated in the solvent, that is acetone, you are going to get alkyl iodide and there is a formation of NaX. So how the reaction goes is, for example, if I consider here methyl chloride, X can be Cl or it can be Br. So when it is reacting with the sodium iodide in presence of acetone and heated, what exactly happens here is, the halide exchange will be taking place. That is, the halide that is present in the alkyl group will get exchanged with the sodium, and the halide that is present in the sodium, that will be combining with the alkyl group. So what exactly we are getting is CH3I plus NaCl. So that is why it is called as halide exchange reaction. So why we are using this acetone here is, whatever this NaCl or NaBr that will be formed, no, that will be precipitated in this acetone solvent. As a result, we are going to get only the alkyl iodide. So from Finkelstein reaction, what are the products that you are going to get is respective alkyl iodides will be formed along with the formation of sodium chloride. The next reaction in the halide exchange type is Schwarz reaction. So what is Schwarz reaction is, whenever alkyl halides, when we are reacting that with the metallic fluorides like silver fluoride, mercurous fluoride, cobalt fluoride or antimony trifluorides. What happens when we use these fluoride sources is, here also the exchange of halides will be taking place. So respective alkyl fluorides will be formed along with the formation of AgX. Okay, we can learn this reaction with a suitable example. For example, CH3Cl, that is chloromethane, when I am reacting with silver fluoride. What exactly happens here is the exchange of halogen takes place, and this fluoride will combine with the CH3. So CH3F plus AgCl will be formed. So what is Schwarz reaction is, whenever alkyl halides, when we are reacting with the metallic fluorides, alkyl fluorides will be formed along with the formation of silver salts. I can write the one more example here, C2H5Br, that is when I take bromoethane plus AgF, that is silver fluoride, I'm going to get C2H5F, that is fluoroethane plus AgBr, that is silver bromide. So in this halogen exchange reaction, what you have to remember here is, Finkelstein reaction, the product will be respective alkyl iodides, whereas in case of Schwarz reaction, the products that you are going to get is alkyl fluoride. Okay, so Schwarz reaction is very important. In other preparation methods, we did not prepare the alkyl fluorides. Only in the Schwarz reaction this can be prepared. So if we use any of these reagents, the product that will be the respective fluorides will be. Okay, 2 marks the questions will be asked, like write the preparation method for the Schwarz reaction or explain the Schwarz reaction. Okay, important for 2 marks. The last method of preparation of haloalkanes from hydrocarbons. So here you can use 2 kinds of hydrocarbon. One is alkane and the other one is alkene. First we'll see how we can prepare the haloalkanes by using alkanes. The method that you are going to learn here is, that is free radical mechanism, or the free radical halogenation will be taking place here. Whenever the alkanes, methane I have taken here, methane, when you are reacting that with the Cl2 in presence of UV light, and when you heat this, what exactly you are going to get is, one of this hydrogen is replaced with one Cl atom to form HCl, and one Cl will be substituted in place of this hydrogen. So you are going to get chloromethane. The second example that I have written here is propane. If we use propane molecule here, you can see I can replace this hydrogen or else I can replace this hydrogen. These 3 hydrogens are identical. If I remove any of the hydrogen from these 2 carbon atoms, then it will be same product itself. Whereas this is different. Example, this is primary carbon, this is secondary carbon. If I remove the hydrogen from this primary carbon and replace that with a Cl atom, I am going to get 1 chloropropane. Similarly, if I remove the hydrogen from this carbon, what exactly happens is, CH3 as it is, 1 hydrogen I am replacing, so CHCl, CH3, that hydrogen will combine with the Cl to form HCl. That means one of the HCl formed by the 1 chloropropane formation, the other HCl formed by this, that is 2 chloropropane. That is why directly I have written here is 2 HCl. That is why from this method we are going to get mixture of products here. that is 1 chloropropane and 2 chloropropane. Sometimes there will also be a formation of polyhaloalkanes as well. So this reaction becomes difficult to separate it as only one compound. Okay, so however, out of this two, one of them will be having more yield, the other one will be having the less yield. So how you can prepare the haloalkanes by using alkene is, usually alkenes, because of the presence of the double bond, they'll undergo addition reaction. So two important addition reactions will be taking place here. Is one is addition of halogen acid, that is HX. The second one is addition of the halogens. First one we'll see. I have taken the alkene, that is ethene. When it is reacting with the HBr, what exactly happens here is, out of this two double bond, one double bond I'm going to break it. So what I'm going to get is CH2, CH2. The carbon valency for these two carbon is 3. The fourth valency will be satisfied by adding H, and for this Br. You can add it in a reverse way as well, for this carbon Br and the other carbon H. Both the way you're going to get the same product. So the name of this will be 1-bromo ethane. You're going to get the same product because the given alkene was symmetrical in nature. Here I have written the second example. This is unsymmetrical alkene. The name of this is propene or 1-propene. Okay, so when this is reacting with the HI, what exactly happens here is, here these two double bonded carbon atoms, no, they are not same. Here one hydrogen is there, here two hydrogen is there. You have learnt for unsymmetrical alkene, you are going to follow Markovnikov's rule. So what the Markovnikov's rule says is, here H plus and I minus. One is positive end, the other one is a negative end. The negative part of the adding molecule, you have to add to the carbon which is having less number of hydrogen atom. You're going to get the two products, but out of this two product, one will be major. That is why we are following the Markovnikov's rule. So what happens is, you can see CH3, CH. You have to break this double bond and CH2. These two carbon atom you have to see. The negative part of the adding molecule is nothing but I minus. That will be substituted to the carbon involved in the double bond having less number of hydrogen. This carbon is having one hydrogen. This carbon is having two hydrogen. So the negative part is added to the carbon having less number of hydrogen. The H plus is added to this. So it will be CH3. So the name of this is 2-iodopropane. Okay, so this is the major product. If I add it in a reverse way, I am going to get I here, that is 1-iodopropane. That is a minor product, so you have to focus on the major product. This is for the addition of halogen acid. The second one is addition of halogens. For the same alkene, that is ethene molecule, I am going to add a halogen, that is bromine, in presence of carbon tetrachloride. Okay, bromine in CCl4 is nothing but bromine in this solvent we are going to take. Okay, so what happens here is, you are going to break the double bond and then you are going to add bromine atom for each carbon. So you are going to get here CH2, CH2, Br. The name of this will be 1,2 dibromoethane. Okay, this is very important reaction in order to check the whether the compound is saturated or unsaturated. That you are going to get by this method. That means detection of double bond is done by using this bromine in CCl4. The one more important thing you are going to learn here is, this is also called as vicinal dibromide. This is also called as vicinal dibromide. So let us see what is meaning of vicinal. You know that if the carbon atom, if it is substituted with the two halogen atom, if the two halogen atoms, if they are substituted on the same carbon, such a compounds or such a halides, these are called as geminal dihalide. Okay, if the two halogen atoms, if they are present on the adjacent carbon, you can see this one, this is called as vicinal dihalide. Okay, so the halide here is chloride, it is called as geminal dichloride. This is called as vicinal dichloride. All the dichlorohalogen compounds are further classified into these two. One is geminal, the other one is vicinal. Remember, vicinal, the meaning is vicinity, the meaning is they are on the adjacent one. That means they are present on the adjacent to each other. So if the halogen atoms are present on the adjacent carbon atom, they are called as vicinal. If they are present on the same carbon atom, then they are called as geminal